everyone, this is Rocky and thank you so much for joining my channel. Today is a request video. Someone told me that they wanted to know what were the shoe fashion trends for 2021, specifically for spring and summer. So I started to dive into it, and summer's trends are so lackluster that I'm just going to skip it today, and we're going to talk about spring. And the reason why I'm choosing to double click on spring is because it's actually pretty unique. It's not like any other spring line of shoes that we've seen in the past. Usually we're seeing bright and feminine and pastel-y and bright and just colorful and bright and that's what we're normally seeing. But what we've learned on the heels of having to shelter in place due to COVID and the pandemic, we have learned a lot more about being kinder to our feet and comfort being key and comfort being important and how you can still be fashionable and not sacrifice your comfort. So I've said a lot to say the shoes are all comfortable. So we're going to dive right into it. You're going to be like, really? For spring? But yes, this is what we're looking at for 2021. The very first one is not really going to surprise you, and it's something that I don't think that I'm going to participate in necessarily, but I do, I have these. Everyone, I think, has these. But these are shoes, legit shoes, that are made to look like slippers that you're supposed to wear outdoors. I don't have any outdoor shoe slippers. I have some shoes. I have my crusty Ugg slippers that I wear around the house, but people are actually, making this into a fashion trend itself. These are shoes that you would buy from the shoe store, intended to be worn outside, and they look like slippers. So that's the very first trend, and I think it's just really carrying forward. Like we said, sitting in the house all day, and we got really used to that and very comfortable with that, and we just want to be able to go from in to out to in with the same kind of comfortable shoes. The next one is riding boots, and the reason why this one annoys me just a little bit, I never got rid of my boots that look like this, but riding boots to me are the same thing as tall boots. Really, quite honestly. I have this pair, I have several pair of both tall boots and riding boots, but at the beginning of 2020, when all the trends were coming out, they said tall boots are out. I was like, okay. And then now, quote, tall boots, these boots, are in. So I have no issue with riding boots. I have no issue with tall boots. I love them, and that's why I kept them, and I intended on wearing them regardless of what trends say you should be wearing or not wearing. But I hate when things like that happen where they make you flip-flop and go between things and just rename things and make you feel like you need to get more new stuff. So, riding boots are in for 2021. Yes, they do make sense for spring because where I live, spring is really nasty out. We're thawing out from the snow. It's really wet, nasty, and sticky and muddy. So, these are perfect. So you're going to see a little bit of a trend across these shoes in a way. Aside from them all being comfortable, there is some heavy leaning on boots. The next one is the cowboy boot. I have a few cowboy boots of varying lengths or heights, and this one I think is probably my most fun pair because they're green. But cowboy boots are a thing for this year and for spring. These look amazing with your little spring dresses and things like that, or your skirts. Trust me, they look so cute. You can definitely invest in some of these if you want to brand new, but you will if you just kind of traipse through the thrift stores and the consignment stores, you will find a ton. There are always cowboy boots in consignment stores and thrift stores and things like that. So go check them out. Definitely a good investment for spring. And for me, I also like to wear these in sort of the wet or cooler days of summer. So I feel like this has even more longevity than just, spring, summer. I think you can go obviously fall too. So I think it's a good investment. The next one is yet another boot, and this one is common. This one's been in style forever, just in different varying stylings of it, but it's been in style for a while. And these are the combat boot. You can call it the combat boot, the lug boot, chunky boots. Mine are not necessarily, I'm going to show a picture obviously, but mine are not necessarily exactly the trend that's going on right now. The trend now is having the really thick sole. That's never really been my thing. I have a hard time walking around in super thick soled things. That's just my equilibrium. The way my equilibrium is set up. But But these are a pair that I've had for a really long time. When I bought them, they weren't necessarily the trend or in style, so they did get some, you know, interesting looks. These lace up on the back and zip up on the side. They were a bit chunkier than what people were wearing at the time when I bought them, but I like these, and I think it lends itself well to the trend. It kind of, you know, has a grunge appeal to it. I like it. I think that this style is super comfortable, and again, it gives, when I talked about the cowboy boots that you can wear them with dresses, this you could even also wear with dresses, of course jeans and stuff like that, but dresses too, just to tone down. If your dress is a little bit too frilly and girly, you can tone it down with a little bit of the grunge appeal with the combat or chunky boots. So I think it's a really good investment. I think it's cool for spring. I think it's cool for summer, fall, winter. I think it's great year round, and I don't think they're going anywhere. I think that that super thick chunky heel might, you know, kind of fall in and out of favor, but if you get one that's, you know, just modest, it'll last you a really long time. The next one is probably not everyone's cup of tea. And the next one is the Mary Jane shoe. And there are various ways that you can, you'll find these type of shoes, but basically it is the girl, you know, a woman's shoe with the strap across. It could have a T-strap, it could have just this strap, it could have various designs and all, but the strap is the main part of across the foot of the Mary Jane shoe. So this one was one that I bought, I want to say over summer during the pandemic. I have yet to wear them. I've not gone anywhere, so I've yet to wear them, but I am looking forward to wearing these. I don't know if pointy toe is a thing anymore because we've gone to this weird square toe thing, but I definitely still like this shape of shoe and this particular shoe. But the Mary Jane shoe, yo, is everything. It lends to the grunge style that I'm used to and that I love. Mary Jane Doc Martens are everything. So that is probably, if I do end up getting another pair, that's the brand that I'm going to get next, is a pair of Doc Marten Mary Jane shoes. But Mary Jane shoes are controversial because not everyone really likes them, but definitely a trend for spring. And to me, this feminine shoe fits right in with what we think about when we think about spring. The next one is shoes with chain detail. You'll find these chain details on some of everything at this point, on pumps, on loafers, on clogs, whatever, boots. But this chain detail is all the rage right now. I realize that I don't have, I have one singular pair of shoes that has chain detail on it, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm not huge on chains, and I don't think I will be in the future. So I have these pair of slides that have chains here on the front. Mine, and I think these are subtle, so if you kind of want to dip your toe into the trend, maybe find something that's color on color as opposed to a metal finish to the chaining so that it doesn't pop out as much. So this one's very subtle to me and I can deal with that. But if this were silver or gold or rose gold, something like that that just, you know, popped out really loud, I don't think that I would be inclined to buy this, wear this, love it, you know, whatever the case may be. But these are my version or rendition of the chain detail on a shoe trend. But if you love it, do it how you feel comfortable doing it. I just don't have that much of it. The next one is one of my favorites. I spent the better part of 2020 amassing a collection of this type of shoe, and that shoe is the vintage sneaker. I bought a lot of these sort of vintage type of sneakers. These are a pair of Fila sneakers here, you can see. Very old school vintage, but I bought them all new. So I bought some Diodoras, I bought some Reeboks, and I just kind of tried to stick to the classic and vintage feel of sneakers. So I've amassed a nice collection of vintage sneakers. But this year, that's all the rage, and I think that's perfect for spring and summer. Definitely get a couple pairs, because the reason why I think that's perfect is because they're timeless. It's not going to point you to having, you know, 2021 per se. They're classic shoes that, you know, kind of transcends the decades, the eras, the time, the trend, all the things. So I think it's worth, if you're going to get some sneakers, you know, getting a pair of vintage ones, because again, classics never go out of style. And last but not least, and we've been seeing this for a long time now, I think even a couple years back, I was obsessed with getting a few of these types of shoes, but these are men's inspired shoes. I've gotten a few pair of Oxfords, I've gotten some loafers, I've gotten quite a few different types of shoes. But this one here I want to show you is just some, you know, a regular pair of Oxfords, but it's definitely men's inspired. It's definitely men's inspired. And those shoes are really, you know, taking off because, again, it's dressy, but it's comfortable. So you can be appropriate, work appropriate, event appropriate, and not have to sacrifice your feet. So that's, I think, if you notice, all of the shoes that we talked about being the trend for this year, none of them were pumps. None of them, even though some of these can be in a pump form, right? You can get, you know, sandals or pumps with chains on them, and you can definitely do a sandal or pump version of the Mary Janes, but for the most part, they're all based around comfort. And so just keep that in mind. They don't necessarily have to be these specific trends for 2021, but I think the underlying theme for all the shoes is just to be comfortable, be you, and wear what you love, and you'll be without even trying, you'll be right on trend. So those are the shoes that I wanted to highlight for spring 2021. Once I get a better feel for what's out there for summer, because I was so uninspired. They're so ugly. And there's so few. It's just like ugly and just a few. So once I feel a bit more inspired, I'll share with you what those trends are. For good or for bad, I'll share what the trends are. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with your friends, leave me a comment down below. Bye.